Welcome to your daily dose of theological German, where a sentence a day keeps the dissertation detractors away. Whether you're here to keep your German fresh, prepare for an upcoming exam in a punishing degree program, or, well, whatever reason you may have, my name is Ambrose, and I hope you find this helpful. We have our third sentence in the article that we've been working our way through. So, for people in, again, you'll recognize that this is a compound preposition plus a dative article, dem. For people in the ancient Near East. Now, if you were to translate this word as Orient in English, you would be technically correct. However, you would sound a bit archaic. That's obviously a cognate to the English word Orient, but it is not used typically in these discussions anymore. In English, we say Ancient Near East, so you want to try to keep those kinds of conventions in mind. Because you don't just want to have a correct translation, you want to have a good, comprehensible, readable, and understandable translation. So then you have wird. Now this is obviously the German verb werden, and with that verb you can have a variety of things happening. Of course, that verb is often used as an auxiliary to form the future tense in German. It's also used as an auxiliary verb to form passive constructions in German. And in both of those cases, if that was happening, you would have to have some sort of a verb at the end of the clause or sentence that would complement that auxiliary verb and kind of fill out the thought. So in the case of the future, you should expect an infinitival form of the verb, and in the case of the passive voice, you should expect a participial form. But if you come down here and look at this word, you will notice that in fact it is an adjective. If you look this up in the dictionary, and again I am using Cassell's, you will discover that fassbar is an adjective, and it means something like tangible or comprehensible. And so a quick look at the rest of the sentence will show you that in fact there is no other verb in this sentence anywhere. And so that tells you that werden is functioning as the main verb of the sentence and has to be translated something like becomes. Okay, and so what you can see is that the sentence begins with a prepositional phrase. The verb is then in what's called the second position, so-called. And the subject is actually what follows. So here we have the deity of, and anytime you see des in German, that's going to always be in the genitive case. So the deity of, now you have jeweiligen, which is a word. Again, we can look this up in Cassell's and you'll see that it has to do with a kind of specification. So like of or at the moment, respective, and so there's an example here, the headmaster at the time concerned, and so you're specifying something in a specific situation, and that's why actually the word respective is probably the best one. We use that in English in many similar contexts, and so that's probably what I would use here, where you're going to say something like the deity of each respective land. Okay, so that's your subject. Becomes, okay, wird, in the person of the king and in the temple tangible. So to make it a better sounding phrase, we can just say, for people in the ancient Near East, the deity of each respective land becomes tangible in the person of the king and in the temple.